all 4 founders belonging to the agri-tech sector, and they're doing some interesting stuff with regards to technology, the way they're working in the hinterland of India. I'll quickly give the mic to each one of you to talk about your journey in the agriculture space so far. But you have just 60 seconds each, so that we get into the Q&A mode fast.
Hi. This is Kiran from BigHaat. Okay. So we started our journey with the simple problem of how to solve choice and availability for the farmers, especially in the agri-input space. So we started with that, and slowly we started solving the complex problems. Now we are into even market linkages. That's our short journey.
Hi everyone, this is Renuka from BioPrime. What we do at BioPrime is develop agriculture biologicals for farmers to mitigate against challenges like climate change, decreasing fertilizer use efficiency, increase quality and output. And we've been at it for almost 9 years now. The main aspect of what we do is help farmers take the uncertainty around outputs out of the game. So we bring certainty towards every season, every harvest that the farmer does.
Hello everyone, I am Sudheer from Scimplify. I take care of agrochemicals. And Scimplify is a chemical full value chain company where we do from R&D to, CMO to manufacturing large scale. With the help of the AI, we have built, couple of platforms, which includes, a platform for CROs, which the name is IONS. Then we have built a chemical manufacturing platform for manufacturers, which is called Atoms. And then we are coming up with the, demand-based kind of, demand-side platform, side note where anyone can go and, if anything want to get manufactured, they can just, speak to our platform, and it is fully AI-based. In agrochemical, what we do is from R&D to intermediate manufacturing to technical manufacturing, formulation, and the final products. So we are there in the full value chain of agrochemical and biologicals. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Prasanna. I represent Arya.ag. We are an integrated platform that works with farmers in helping them solve 2 very basic problems. The first one being that farmers in India do not really have the choice to decide when they want to sell their produce after harvest, end up selling immediately after harvest when the prices are the lowest. So we help them decide what is the best time for them to sell their produce. And second is that we work with them to ensure that they also have the choice to decide whom they want to sell that produce to without being forced to sell to maybe local intermediaries, money lenders, etc. In their immediate local network. And we do this through an integrated tech platform and bring in storage to store their produce, give them finance against that same stored produce, and finally help them sell that produce on the platform.
Thank you. Must say some great problems all of you are solving for India. But tell me, on ground, how is it like working with farmers, and has technology actually been adopted well by the farmers, or are there any specific areas which has completely been automated, and how open is the farmer community to technology at large? This question is open to all of you.
Okay, since I have the mic, I'll just start. No, I think, in our kind of learning, we figured that, so initially when we started, we came with this utopian thought that technology will solve everything for farmers and we'll be able to just bring it down to the market and all the problems will be resolved. And very soon in our journey, we figured that technology's role in the lives of smallholder farmers, primarily in our learning, was focused on 2 aspects. One was improving access for the farmers to markets, to finance, and to other infrastructure that is available. And second is giving them an assurance that what is being promised to them, the price, the interest rate, or any other promise that any entity in the agriculture ecosystem makes is actually being held true. So the way we defined the role of technology in agriculture was to improve access and to improve assurance. And in that, how do we make sure that the adoption happens is only when it is affordable. Technology which is not affordable could solve a lot of problems, but that is not what is meant for the farmers in India. So affordable technology for access and assurance is what has worked for us.
Here in Simplify, we generally don't deal with the farmers directly, but since I have a background of, agri input, so I can answer for sure. Number one is there is always the part of, how many are early adopters and leaders. So same kind of pattern also exists here where, 20-30% of any particular village would go for, all kind of, they would try new things, they would try the apps, they would try to see some platforms. At the same time, they are not the, kind of decision makers for the farming family. So since, farmers, it's, not individual farmer. Generally, we can tackle it by the, being the part of the, tackling the entire family system, that who is making decision, who is doing plowing, who is doing spraying. So, the right kind of spoke for each thing. If it is targeted, I think technology can reach out to the right people and the adoption can be faster.
So since we work directly in the agri input segment and also work with the farmers, I have a very interesting, actually small anecdote to share. We started in 2016, which was a El Nino year, and everybody knew that the heat waves would break records. Farmers anticipated crop loss, and we knew this is the time to put the solution into the market. And like Prasanna was saying, we expected that we'd be greeted with red carpets, but that was not the case. The point that I want to make through this is even when the problem existed and the solution was right in front of them, there was a lot of hesitation from the farmer's side because the trust in this entire ag input had, especially in the biological segment, had eroded to such a great extent. It's taken 5 years to build back that trust in that entire segment. A lot of policy level support, a lot of regulatory level support from the government and initiatives in this manner have helped bringing back the trust. But the only thing that works for the farmer is, can you deliver value? Can you deliver value consistently? Can you deliver value across cropping systems? And can it be very easy for him to adopt and integrate? And obviously at a price that is lesser than what he's, doing. So this is a segment which wants more, which expects more, but at a less cost. It's definitely seeing is believing that drives adoption for farmers.
Yeah, sure.
Recently, when we looked into data trends on our platform, by the way...
Can you bring the mic?
Yeah. So by the way, in our platform, monthly around 3.5 to 4 million farmers are visiting. So when we looked into their data trends, actually few people are more progressive and they're searching with the molecule names as well. And especially a simple, maybe a problem like, the dosage, even how to dilute this and, what is the right dosage. Still, these are the biggest problems in this area. But farmers are searching and they're getting the right information from the internet. Even they're using nowadays AI. When we call few farmers and we were asking what is their behavior and all, so they're saying now they started using even AI to get answers to a few problems as well. Especially in market linkage space, okay, they're very conscious about the quality and the chemical traces on their harvesting, okay. Even buyers are looking for that, and they're following the right practices and they're adapting to technology and they're making sure that what molecules they're using and So even the diseases information, they're very particular about it, and they're taking the help of agronomists, and they're looking into technology platforms, and they're improving. Yeah.
Okay, sure. So I also want to know, India, as we all know, is a very diverse market, and every market is different from what you operate in, and all of you are present pan-India. So what were the typical challenges, and how did you overcome them when you are serving maybe a market in Bihar, or maybe a particular, say, rural area in Kerala? So how's the experience been like?
When we developed the technology, we were working with farmers in Maharashtra, which are some of the most advanced and most progressive lot of the farmers. The solution automatically got built for drip irrigation, integrated into tank mixes. It's only when we reached UP, Bihar, Jharkhand that we realized that, oh God, we need folio solutions. We cannot scale until we have folio solutions. We cannot scale until we convert this formulation into a granular format. And that was our biggest learning. We spent about 1.5 years to perfect the technology. So now whatever gets developed as a liquid formulation, we can automatically convert it into a granule or a folio format easily. But it was kind of a rude shock for us when we went to those states. So that's one of the reasons why integration into their existing practices is very important. Unless it's very easy for them to use, it's very difficult to get them to shift. There have been instances where farmer behaviors have been shifted, but those have been largely driven due to disease and pest than a solution trying to present itself. So very hard to change behaviors. Therefore, it's better to start adopting your solutions for that region right at the beginning.
Okay. We started our business in Bihar, and the first time we said that we'll go to Bihar and start working there, people thought we've really sort of lost our minds. And today, Bihar is the largest state for us, contributing the largest amount of business. I completely agree with Renuka when she says that when we bring in something new, it has to be adopted to the reality of your own customer. It can't be something that the customer can't relate to. And I think that was the greatest challenge. How do you make sure that the customer identifies with your solution, and that solution is based on the problems of that same customer? And then once we get that balance right is when we were able to overcome some of these challenges. So when we said you can store your produce and use that as a collateral to access a loan, the moment we built in the beginning, we started making an app which was very fancy but had no adoption. Then we sort of really scaled it down after about 9 odd months of trying it out, where we just said that on that application, all you will get is the interest rate at which the loan will be accessed by you. What is the processing fee? The account into which this money, your loan amount, will be credited. And all you need to do is that you have to go and accept it. The moment you press accept, within 5 minutes, the amount will be credited into your account. The moment you gave only these 4 pieces of information, we saw the adoption rates going up from less than 2% today to almost about 99%. So I think it's about understanding the reality of the customer. And in the agri domain, I'm sure all of us agree that what we are solving for as new age entities is the trust gap. So whether in our business, for example, the warehouse owner not trusting the farmer not trusting the warehouse owner that this guy is going to store his or her produce well, the lender not trusting the borrower, similarly the borrower not trusting the lender that there are no hidden costs, and then the buyer not trusting the seller and vice versa. And each of these solutions with technology which are able to bridge that trust gap basically solves that challenge in terms of scaling up the business.
Again, on the same line that what Renuka and Sir said, that we cannot stereotype one particular market that it's a very tough market geographically. But again, we can classify the markets where I would give one case, like, for example, if you might be knowing that Namda River, when it started irrigating the Rajasthan lands, right? Then earlier than that, there was like all the traditional farming was happening, and there was no hope in the farmer's mind. And the technology adoption was very, very less. Right now, if you will go, like, every third farmer is a pomo farmer, and technology adoption is so fast. At the same time, those farmers are not very, very educated. Like, hardly you would find a middle school pass outs, or you would find matric pass farmers. But the kind of technology they are adopting is, way beyond our imaginations. Anything wherever it creates a hope, those markets, if being identified by the tech, and even, if tech can help to create the hope, that will also, serve the purpose where there would be a technology adoption very faster. Similar market was like, Disa in Gujarat, when the potato farming just started in early 2010. So these kind of markets where, some particular new crop starts with, where everybody is making profit. So the overall markets gives a different kind of vibe. At the same time, overall technology adoption is very faster.
It's totally diversified, especially agriculture. Few states, they are more towards organic. Few states, they are more into IPM or, chemical stuff. But what we saw recently is this is changing year on year. Okay. So the affinity towards a particular brands is drastically changing. Okay. So new brands also emerging. So we are seeing the behavioral changes from region to, I would say, district level, it is changing actually at present. So earlier they were having more affinity towards particular brand, particular kind of molecules, but within a year, entire thing has been changed. So this is what we are observing through data trends. Like, I think it's a complex problem, but I think it will continue this way. Yeah.
Okay. Also, I want to understand, in terms of scaling your enterprise as an agri-tech founder, what has worked in your case? Is it only, of course, your knack towards working with the farmers at length, or is it also some support in terms of some kind of government initiatives, or the investors who would further help you in the entire journey, giving you patient capital? How would you rate these?
Okay, I think, at least in our experience, that it is this collaboration and the convening of different entities that really helps organizations grow. From investors who've believed in, when we for the first time said, we're going to work with farmer organizations and FPOs, which was a very new concept at that time. For somebody to trust and say, okay, maybe what you're saying makes sense and we'll support you in that journey, to lenders who came up and said that, you raise this much of equity, but you can't scale up your lending book without loans, and hence them coming in and trusting us. And similarly, say, rating agencies who probably earlier never gave a serious thought around such businesses growing, now believing in and saying that, yes, it is a business which has actually scaled with a very high level of quality. And also, most importantly, partners. Like, as an organization, we have the World Bank Group, or the IFC, the United Nations, similar other multilateral and bilateral organizations who come in and sort of have supported us in various ways to be able to grow this. And most importantly, I think it has also been the community. When we work with farmer organizations, here we are, maybe, urban, educated entrepreneurs, individuals going into markets, and how do they trust you that what you're saying is indeed what you're going to deliver? And which is where I think the partnership with the community has been one of the most important aspects in our journey. So it is a combination of all of this which has really sort of helped us scale and grow to a level where we today, are covering almost about 60% of all India's districts, storing and aggregating almost about 30,000 crores worth of commodities, and giving or extending loans of almost about 15,000 crores on the platform. It only happens when each of these entities come together, and which is where I think these are partnerships that have really helped us reach to a level, or to this level at least.
Okay, sure. And if you wants to add?
So in our case, so initially till you reach certain level, so definitely investors will fuel you. But later, based on your scale, at present scale, we are able to find the trends, okay, these categories or these segments, okay. So this is where your model would be viable at the scale. So whatever initiative we do, once we test the waters, okay, is it viable at the scale or not, we are going to define, and if it is viable only, we will take it forward, otherwise let's drop. So this is how we are working, but given the present scenarios, I think everyone should be sustainable. This is how world is moving. So everything what we do is we are making sure that it is sustainable at the scale.
A lot of what BioPrime is today is thanks to the vision and support of the government. I always joke that a lot of successful startups say that, oh, we started in a garage. It's a common theme that you would hear. Unfortunately, a deep tech biotech startup cannot start in a garage, and we're so middle class that we don't even have a garage. So unless it had been for the very bold moves that the government had made, so imagine about 10 years ago, the government said, okay, in the biotech sector, if you come up with a transformative idea, we will give you a proof of concept funding and we'll give you lab spaces to test out and validate your ideas. And it was a grant in aid, so no strings attached funding. It was not just that, they followed it up with funds to ensure that you are able to do a market validation. And that's when you become investable for VC funding. And I just cannot tell you how valuable this has been. A lot of biotech startups in the country today are here, are able to tell their stories thanks to this. And later on, I think what has helped us scale is partnerships. I'm very glad that we have all the panelists are partners. We have common investors. And so agriculture is such a complex problem that you cannot go at it alone, you cannot solve it alone. And therefore, having meaningful partnerships, having meaningful collaborations is the only way, and that has been our founding principle. So I would say these two things.
If we are not scaling fast, then we are committing a crime, that is for sure. And at Scimplify, what we do is we treat each of our category as a different startup. Even each of our molecule, which is a different kind of chemical or different kind of strain, we treat them different companies. And we measure the kind of P&L for each particular category and how fast we can scale. So far, we have been very lucky to find the right kind of partners, right kind of investors, where our investors have helped us to open the doors in Japan collaborations, to open the door for us in USA, to open the doors in Europe. And then we also have, the kind of, our investors have connected us with all the agri-tech startups. So this is how we have been helped by our investors in scaling up very fast. And at the same time, our DNA of Scimplify is that finding the better person in the team than, the one who is driving it. And then ultimately we scale fast. So we have been very lucky to scale in, we have exported to more than 30 countries right now. We have kind of doing more than 500 products right now. So this is like the scale means for us. And, scale is like, hunger of runs for Virat Kohli or Sachin Tendulkar. So same kind of numbers are for us.
But any specific government policy change or any change in the ecosystem which you think can give the next push or the next momentum for agri-tech to grow ahead?
A lot of work is being done. Like I know in UP where we work, there are certain aspirational districts that have been set up. Every aspirational district has one crop that has been selected, which will have export potential. There is a lot that is going on in increasing our horticulture exports. And for that matter, the problem for us today in horticulture exports is not production. It is probably quality, and more than that, it is MRL. So how do we then integrate, better practices, better insecticide, pesticide management practices, better biological integration into these systems? So these activities are, definitely going on. Government has a very strong direction on soil health, which I think is fundamental for agriculture. So directly from where we operate, we're seeing that these initiatives are having a lot of impact on ground, and for us as well.
Okay.
So I would say if government brings centralized policies instead of state-wise policies, that would really, help, things, especially agrochemical and biologicals. They can move faster. Even for us, this is a big challenge, okay? So you need to get one state license, and again, you need to wait for under 2 to 3 months to get another state license. Instead, if it is central, that would really help.
Sure.
So, government support-wise, if we understand that, if there is any kind of law is there, then it is there, because there is some purpose. And specifically for chemicals, it is very, very risky if it is not bound by the rules. So, for example, if we talk of biologicals, right, Renuka, 4 to 5 years back, everyone was almost selling, they were mixing pesticides on the name of biological, and they were selling it. So government has done right that, they have stopped it. Because, see, we are genuine people, but there are few people or the few entities or many entities who can take the advantage of if the laws are not there. So I think if anything is existing in the laws and acts, and if any local laws are there, we have to be compliant with those laws. But at the same time, it should not be too much complex. Like, if any pesticide license has to be taken in some particular states, it takes more than a year. It does not make any sense. They will just keep asking for something which is like, not so good, but and ethical. But at the same time, there are few states where today you submit the application online, tomorrow you will get the license. Or after a physical verification, you will get the license. So there has been a progress and there has been a digress. So both of the things are happening at the same time in India. And probably who understands local laws and local licensing, they would be able to, come up with the better answer. But for us, somehow we have been able to work it out. And, at the same time, there has been many policy decisions by the government, which are very, very good decisions, like, encouraging the exports, and, getting the road tab and, duty drawbacks, and even advanced licensing. So through those means, we are able to compete few products from China that, if we manufacture it in India, it is better. So that is what I'm saying, that, it is both ways, but largely government has been very supportive for to do the business in India.
I think, lots of hits, some misses. Like the role of any government is to facilitate and sort of build that foundation on which businesses are built. For example, in our business, the entire focus on creating rural storage infrastructure was the foundation on which we built our business. The availability of the self-help group network of rural women on the ground, which then helps us, work with communities, community organizations, which form the foundation of farmer producer organizations on the ground. Similarly, the entire, focus on startups and the incentives that are available to startups as institutions. On the misses side, I think, staying with consistent policies, abrupt kind of decisions on exports have really impacted the businesses on the other side. So I think it will always be a mixed bag. And as businesses, we'll have to learn to work with some of the gaps and take advantage of what is working for us while we build our businesses. And that's how I think each one of us has really worked on.
Sure. So one last comment from each one of you before I open the floor for audience Q&A. So how far are we in terms of AI adoption in agri-tech?
So I mean, at Arya, our basic thought is that, if we are looking at AI as a panacea for all problems, that is not going to happen. Adoption of AI by the farmers is still long way to go. In fact, we need to identify who or which of the players in the agriculture ecosystem are best suited to use AI. And then how do we use AI which can give insights to farmers to take decisions? I think, by just painting that brush saying AI is going to solve everything is going to be a challenge. For example, in our business, the way we have used AI is that we say have a lot of warehouses that are on the platform, which are very remote. Now, how do I make sure that the security of the commodities that are stored on those warehouses is monitored using AI? So we have computer vision enabled cameras which use AI and image analytics to tell us triggers, saying that, okay, something wrong is happening on those warehouses. Or say, how do we assess the quality of the produce using, say, image analytics and assess the quality of the produce in any warehouse or any location without having any manual intervention. So we need to identify which of these aspects are good for us and then sort of deploy that for the benefit of the audience.
So at Scimplify, AI is one of our core capabilities, what we have built. We have more than 50 plus team members who are actively, working 24/7 on AI, building AI for Scimplify and building AI for the world. What we have done is, for example, if we want to manufacture any technical or any new chemical, right? So it used to be very, very tricky for us to find out that what would be the route of synthesis of one particular product. Today, our in-house team has built one platform called Syra. You just type what you want to manufacture, and in 10 to 12 minutes, you will get, 90 to 95% of correct answer that how the entire route of synthesis would work. And then that route of synthesis, if it is given to the scientists, then of course they can figure it out quickly. And similar kind of things we have built on the customer facing side and as well as the manufacturing side and CRO sides. So for us, it is one of our core capabilities. That's what we have built at Scimplify. And I think it is going to change how the overall manufacturing ecosystem is there, how overall, R&D ecosystem is there, and how overall customer buying pattern is there. It is going to change completely. Tomorrow, I might not be taking the orders from my customers. It might be my agent, which is AI agent, which might be taking the orders from my customer. And it's not going to be happening in 2 or 3 years. It is going to be happening in next 3 or 6 month horizon.
Okay.
At BigHaat, we are leveraging AI to help the farmers with the personalized experiences. And also, we do have a solution called Crop Doctor, where based on the image, we do predict which disease it is having, and also we provide the right solution to the farmers.
So BioPrime is basically a R&D startup. We have 2 discovery platforms, one for biomolecule discovery and one for microbe discovery. Platform means anything and everything that comes in gets rapidly screened for multiple functional aspects around each of the molecule and microbe. That itself is a very vast database. And our core competency lies in understanding how we can use this information to customize, to develop formulations or develop solutions that are region, geography, country, climate, crop specific. And that journey in totality is aided by AI. So what earlier the discovery program itself, when it used to take us a month to run 200 microbes or molecules, it takes like in the same amount of time now we can do 2000. So capabilities around discovery have also increased significantly. And the success rate obviously therefore is much higher. Then again, on the business operation side, we use a lot of AI, similar to what Prasanna was already mentioning. So yeah, a lot of things will happen with AI, but it's definitely not a silver bullet.
Okay, thanks. Time for the audience to ask their questions. Can we please hand over the mic to the gentleman?
Yeah, we'll just take one question. Can I have the mic being handed over?
So I'll start with a disclaimer that maybe, pardon my ignorance, I don't have too much of domains specific knowledge, but my general understanding is that farming in India, and when we compare it with, say, something like a US, the major problem, and all the respected panelists have spoken about scale multiple times. The reason we have not been able to scale up is probably there are too many marginal farmers who have small pieces of land. And the real problem is not trying to add them all up and provide them solutions differently. Rather, the best way out is to make them collaborate and join hands and then have more large pieces of land, because that is where the technology and eventually AI will also work. So are we seeing something happening on ground on those front? Because that is more instrument, that can be more foundational when it comes to the growth. Thank you.
I'll take that. Thank you for the question. And I think, as you rightly mentioned, the reality in India is that 83-85% of the farmers are small and marginal, and that is not going to change. It's only going to increase as we move forward. So the collectivization is the answer, and which is where the focus of the government and also how we've seen the entire progress of farmer producer organizations or farm producer companies happening, and which is where I think, as the industry, as some of the new age organizations, if you see, a lot of our work is focused around working with FPOs, and which is where it is still, I think, early days, whether it is the way the banks are thinking about it, the way the government is thinking about it, the way the buyers are thinking about it. And when financial access and market access comes together, which is aligned with the concept of collectivization, is when things are going to change. And this is what we are seeing. The usage of, say, the increased usage of drones today, when we say, is basically being facilitated by farmers who are coming together. So any new age technology, it uses and would succeed if we have a platform which is more collectivized. So which is the progress that we are seeing, and that's how all of us are very hopeful that is the direction in which we would also be moving.
Thank you.
so much.
On that note, we would like to conclude the session, and thank you to all our panelists for sharing your wonderful insight in terms of how technology is transforming agriculture in India. Thank you.